Hi everyone, it's Hira here with Careerly, and today we are joined by Ken Munie, who is a managing director and partner at one of the largest consulting firms globally. And Ken and I have known each other for many, many years. We actually went to business school together at Penn. And so Ken is here with me today. We're lucky to have him for a few minutes, and so he's going to share with us some tips and strategies concerning careers in consulting. When you were at business school, if you can remember that far back, what sort of made you interested in consulting and decide to recruit for consulting?
Yeah, so it's actually pretty interesting. I was actually an engineer by trade and had a desire to work with more technology firms. At the time, though, we had just gone through the dot-com bust, and so a lot of the technology jobs were few and far between. So I actually looked at consulting as a way to take my structured problem solving skills and apply them to multiple industries. So then I transitioned from a technology based approach to consulting based approach, and so have been happy with the decision ever since. And so it's been about 13 years, and am still enjoying it.
And so remind me again if, so what happened to the recruiting process? I think you, how did you end up recruiting for consulting? And then do you remember in terms of like, you would have gone through the case prep and all of that? Like you were
Yeah.
obviously clearly successful enough to land a great offer. So anything you remember from that that made you sort of nail the interview?
Yeah, I mean, there were a few things. So one is obviously to be prepared on the case study and the case approach. So you need to know the fundamentals. You need to know how to crack the case, if you will. But beyond that, I think it's the rapport that you establish with the interviewer, because that person is looking at you not only as someone who can solve the case, but is this someone that they want to staff on their team? Is it someone they feel confident that you can actually do the job? And so it's more about establishing the rapport than it is about the actual fundamentals, which you need.
And so, and that's really interesting you say that because I've seen this so many times with students who can, I don't think it's that difficult, right? In terms of like you can learn the frameworks, and if you read Crack the Case, and if you read all the books and practiced 30 cases, you kind of know how to nail the case. But at some point, the interviewers are looking at very similar candidates, top
Mm-hmm.
schools, top candidates. Everybody can do that. And I think you're very right when you said, it's that extra delta. There's that extra something, right, that they're looking for. And well, I've known Ken for a long time, and he certainly has that extra something. Um, what is there some way you can explain? And now you've been in the industry for a
Yeah.
long time. You've yourself recruited many people into consulting. Like, how do they determine that extra bit once you've nailed the
Well,
case?
I'd say I don't think there's not a quantitative answer, but it's the person that you would feel comfortable putting into an ambiguous situation. So if there was someone who I knew was very good fundamentally on the case, but there was also someone who I knew could make a client feel good about a case, no matter what the outcome was,
Yeah.
then it would fall to that, which is basically, regardless of what happens, could this person actually make the client feel good and in turn secure the business for our company?
Yeah, no, that's actually really good points. I hope you guys caught that. The client piece is really important. It's not just the getting the math right. It's not just the logical thinking process, which of course is critical,
Right.
but that client piece, the soft skills, the communications, and being able to be someone that the firm sees as that they can confidently put in front of a
Right.
client, right?
Exactly.
So one final question
Yeah.
for Ken. So you've worked in consulting for a very long time, right? And
Right.
consulting is a kind of special career in terms of work-life balance and a lot of other things. There's a lot of good, but there's also some negatives as well. And some of our students who are seriously considering consulting as a career track, you now looking back
Right.
after more than a decade, what would you say in terms of what's good, what's not that great? I mean, if you had to do this all over again, would you do the same thing or something
No, I
differently?
mean, I think consulting is a career accelerator. I mean, you have to be willing to do the investment, you have to be willing to put in the travel, the time, the effort. But if you do that, I think you will gain experience beyond the years that you put in, which means that you will see more industries, you will see more functions, you will see more roles. You'll actually see more of the world than most people will. So the decision you need to make is, do I invest in myself and in my career, which is what consulting is, and am I willing to pay the price for it over the near term for a longer term return? And I think if you do that, then you'll find out, like me, that it was an investment well spent.
Okay, well, great. Thank you so much for your
Thank
time.
you.
And I hope you guys found that useful. It's, coming from somebody with a lot of experience. And with that, thank you for being with us here this evening, and I'll catch you soon.
Thank you.